Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today is the very first audio-only episode of Splat from the Past. I'm kind of tired of posing for the camera and dressing up for you guys every single episode. You guys all know what I look like, and I'm just tired of doing it, so I'm just putting that to rest along with, the guest pictures. I mean, if you want to know what the guest looks like, look at the thumbnail, on the video and stuff. So today is the very first audio-only episode. And today I'm going to be interviewing my old friend from high school, Ana-Marie Urbieta. She's a really awesome person, really cool chick. I've been friends with her for over 19 years. In the last 9 years, though, we've become a lot closer. And she's one person I really, truly consider my partner in crime because I can tell her anything and she can tell me anything. And we just, bond. We have a real kinship together and stuff. So I'm going to be interviewing her in just a moment, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really, really cool and stuff. So, here is my interview with Ana-Marie Urbieta. Hey.
Hi, sorry about that.
It's okay. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
How about yourself?
Okay, I'm alone today. My mom went back to the Bay today.
That's right, where's she in the Bay?
Fremont.
That's right. So, how have things been with the show and everything?
Well, nobody watches it, but I'm having fun because I'm sharpening my interview skills.
Well, I'm glad I can be here today to help you sharpen them.
Absolutely. I mean, you're one of the few friends of mine that I can literally call my partner in crime.
Yeah, we've had some good crimes together, haven't we?
A lot of good times, yeah. We go all the way back to high school, and only in the last 9 years we've been a lot closer. And yeah, I mean, God, so many things that happened in high school that I look back now and I think to myself, oh my God, I can't believe I survived it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. What kind of things come to mind as far as surviving it?
God, I mean, just everything pretty much. I mean, all the crushes I had and how everybody knew about them and shit. I didn't keep my mouth shut in those days about my crushes at all, and there was a lot of people who wanted to kick my ass and everything. I found out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you didn't keep your mouth shut back then. How about today?
Lately, it's been pretty good. I mean, in terms of just not. It's funny. I don't share secrets off the air like I used to and stuff. I keep a lot of shit to myself these days, in terms of private things. I don't know. I think my car accident may have had something to do with it, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, it's changed a lot. I mean, have you even noticed that?
I don't know. It's really tough to say because when we hang out, a lot of times it's one on one, and
Yeah.
of course you're gonna disclose some stuff to me, but I can't remember. Like it's been years since we've like hung out in groups and like in a larger social setting that I would get a chance to have any insight on how secretive or private you might be.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm just like I think to myself, God, what the hell happened to me?
Mhm.
It's weird. But like,
Yeah, but I guess in the accident did change, like the drinking is like major, so that definitely is a noticeable change in you because you can't get crazy like you used to.
yeah, of course, that's one of the things. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, in high school, God, it was funny at San Mateo High School now. God, just like just about every teacher that was there when we were there is gone now. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a lot of connections at San Mateo?
A few, yeah. I mean, like just before I moved, I had lunch with. Do you remember Mrs. Iraheta?
Mrs. Iraheta. Was she a math teacher?
Oh God, I can't
The
remember.
answer,
Oh,
the answer to the question is no. I don't remember. I don't think I had her. So, and I like the name sounds so familiar, and I just no, like I can't remember who that is.
I think she was a history teacher, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. And yeah, we had lunch at Red Robin in Foster City before I moved. And oh my God, I lost count of how many times she said "fuck" the whole time. It was pretty awesome.
To hear a teacher say fuck so many times.
Yeah, I mean I've heard it before from a couple others I had, but her especially, it was pretty awesome because she's very kick back and very cool and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's even admitted to smoking weed in the past.
Oh yeah, I mean at this point, haven't we all?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but I do inhale.
Inhale. Oh my God. Yeah, that one teacher that was at San Mateo, Mr. Hamilton, there was a rumor going around that he sold weed to the students, and he was under investigation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any truth to that rumor?
I have no idea because I wasn't privy to that. I never had him, but like
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't doubt it though. I mean he was already a weird looking guy, so he may have done it. Who knows?
Nah, that's not fair. We're all a little weird looking. I wasn't selling weed to other students. Well, actually, maybe I was. A couple times.
Well, I'm just saying. He looks
Yeah.
like. he looks like a transsexual or a transvestite. That guy.
I don't remember Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah, he always had his hair like slicked back, wet, and everything.
Okay.
And he looked like a woman, a really ugly woman. I can't describe it. You have to see his yearbook picture.
Okay. Yeah. I have the yearbook, so I'll definitely look through them and see what's up.
Yeah. And then oh my God, do you remember Mrs. Bielsker?
Again, no, the name sounds so familiar. I don't know that I had the same teachers that you did. So,
Oh, I didn't have any of these teachers. I just knew them.
no.
That's all.
Yeah, so Bilsker is, it, can't think of a face, or maybe I can, I don't know.
Yeah, she
Uh,
yeah she always used to
teachers,
she always used to like stick a ruler up her dress once she was giving a lesson. I heard.
she used to do what?
Yeah, she used to stick a ruler up her dress.
Obviously you didn't have the teacher, so who spread that rumor?
Oh, all the guys on the football team used to talk about it every day.
Alright, so maybe there is some truth to that, or I don't know, maybe not.
Well,
But,
well, she had her bachelor party at Swinging Door during the last year that I was working there. Her bachelorette party, and I kind
oh
of
yeah?
she got drunk and a little obnoxious, and like she didn't remember me, and there was all these teachers there that I knew and stuff, and like I kind of made reference to it, and all the teachers laughed. I said, "Yeah, you don't remember me, but there's something I do remember very well about you, Mrs. Bielsker," and I think they all kind of got the hint. I think they kind of did. They all started laughing.
So,
So
yeah, you ran into her, you remembered that about her, all the other teachers,
I can't remember. I can't remember to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, so how old is Miss Fielder?
If I had to guess how old she is now, she's probably in her early 50s.
Okay, so I imagine what, like 10 years ago when she had the bachelorette party. Yes, 40 something. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Still a little strange in my opinion that she would be um, putting a ruler up to dress or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. It's kind of gross. You've seen a lot of the news stories about different teachers sleeping with students and stuff, right?
Yeah. Of course.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's gross. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I have a question for you. I feel like I'm interviewing you now.
go ahead.
So me and my ex-boyfriend had this conversation about whether it's different when a female teacher sleeps with the male student versus the other way around.
Yeah.
I thought it was about the same. What are your thoughts?
I think it's all predatory on the teacher's part, no matter who it is, and I mean, don't get me wrong. At that age, there were teachers like in middle school and high school that I liked, that I wish, that I would have a moment like that with. But looking back, I'm glad it didn't happen. Because it's immoral. It's disgusting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're on the same page there. So, I totally agree. My ex, he seems to think, that it was totally okay for a young man to sleep with an adult woman significantly older than him, but that's it. It's the other way around. Then that would be predatory behavior. So, I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. The conversations that we had, it bothered me that he could even see it that way. But I don't know.
Well, if the student is 18 and it's graduation night and you happen to have sex with a teacher, I think that's okay then.
Okay, so as long as he's done with high school, he's not the relationship uh, of teacher versus student isn't existing anymore.
Yep. Absolutely.
I might beg to differ there. There's this rule, and I don't know if it's the same across the board with all clinicians.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like ethics, uh, having patient-doctor relationship and that sort of thing, there has to be a significant break in time, and I think that is about 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I would say the same should go for the ethics of teachers because, if you have a student and you're kind of selling him on the dream of graduation night, like, he doesn't have a long time to wait.
Right.
Versus, if he has to wait 3 years before anything can legally and ethically go on, then there's a significant break in time where that person gets to really like evaluate whether that's something that they really want to do.
Right.
So I don't know. I would argue that same rule should apply, but I don't know. I guess teaching isn't the same thing as being a doctor, so I don't know.
So you're saying you think that they should wait 3 years at least before they decide to make it personal?
Maybe not 3 years, but definitely a length of time. So 1 year, 3 years, I don't know. I just feel like there's something ethically wrong about the student relationship transferring like into a personal, intimate relationship immediately. Mm-hmm. Like there should be a length of time.
Yeah.
And I would argue that the same should apply for college because these professors messing around with college age students, professional careers.
Yeah. When I used to work at Long's, I had a supervisor that I flirted around with for a long time, and we worked together for like 6 months. And the very last night that we worked together, we had some fun in the coolers.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess long stretch, I don't think the same rule should apply. Um, Not that, having a management position isn't professional, but, there's,
Hmm.
with teachers, they have to get a credential, they have to, like, pass a lot of clearances to have that. And I think anybody can, take a management job at Long, so I'm not sure that I would say that a manager can't mess around with his employees versus a teacher and a student.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it pushes those lines.
Yeah. I think so too.
Tell me more about that messing around in the cooler.
It was fun. It was it was really fun. I mean, she had really nice tits, I have to say, and her nipples were very pink. I remember. I love pink areolas. I'll tell you. I don't see enough of those. Eh,
That you wouldn't find them over here, so yeah.
Wait, what?
Nothing. Never mind.
It's okay. I'll listen on playback. And yeah, no, it was her last night, and it was a Wednesday night. Or what was it? Yeah, it was because I worked. I had the same schedule for 2 years. It was Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday night, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the last night, um, we were short staffed, and it was just me, her, and two other people that night. And yeah, I think the two other people knew what was going on. I don't know, but yeah, we had some fun. It was quite magical. I was 22 at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, and her and I are still friends to this day. We still talk on Facebook and everything. I've
Yeah.
I've wanted to have many encores with her since then, but her husband fucking is a control freak and everything about her being friends with guys and shit. Which she lied to me and told me that wasn't true, but I can see that it is. I can just see it. I remember when I moved to Arizona for a brief time, a year later, I tried coming to her house after she said I could, even with her husband there and kids and everything. And he wouldn't let me in, the husband.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, the fact that you're trying to have an encore with a married woman, maybe there's a little bit of issue there.
Well, this was actually before that because that actually didn't come up until I started using a cell phone and the text messages came. That came a couple years later. But at
Mm.
that time, I just wanted to come over and say goodbye to her, and meet her husband and their kids and whatever. But her husband was an asshole, so it didn't happen.
Mhm.
You know. But one thing I wanted to bring up before we close the high school issue, though, um, you remember High School Sports Focus?
Oh God. I mean, yeah. You're talking about was it a cable channel or what? What the heck was it?
It was on Action 36, KICU in San Jose, and it was kind of like a public access sports highlights show of all the high schools games, for the week and everything. And we got to be on there in '99 in football, and I was always upset that you couldn't see me in the background standing when they were interviewing Sean Sapawaga.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of us didn't necessarily have the focus on us. I wasn't the star of much of anything either. I probably wasn't even in the background. So, um, yeah. So what else about it? You just wanted to mention that you're upset about not being focused on.
Well, yeah, that and plus, I was actually on the internet to find out when the show stopped, when the show ended, It actually ended a couple days after Christmas in 2008. And I think back to that time, I was like, oh my God, I actually remember December of 2008 pretty well. I had been at Swinging Door for a year and a half, and I was going through a crossroads of like, oh God, I'm finally amounting to something. I'm bringing people into the bar, and I'm doing a good job and everything, but like, I don't know, I feel unfulfilled in some way. And of course, a month later, I decided that I was going to give up comedy for a while because it's just, I was under a lot of pressure from other comics to like write every day and stuff and perform, and I just lost interest. I mean, getting laid and partying became more fun for me, so I stopped doing it for a while. And I remember December of 2008 so well because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, were you watching the show up until then?
No, I hadn't watched it probably in about 4 or 5 years up to that point. So
We really only watched it when it was relative to you.
yeah, I mean, I watched it a little bit afterwards just to see if anybody I knew would end up on the show or anything. But other than that, no. And I actually miss it. I actually wanted to find out what the name of that girl, that Asian girl on the show was. I'd like to try to seek her out for an interview and stuff. She was pretty cute, and she seemed to have really good knowledge
Mhm.
and stuff. But I'll find out. But what I wanted to ask you though is about one of my biggest interests, and that is the female G spot.
Uh huh.
Hmm. Like, in your opinion as a girl, like, what do you think it is that makes a girl come?
To be honest, I'm gonna steer away from the female G spot because I would say I don't know anything of. Well, I I don't know much about it. I'm not really sure. I know where that is on me,
Hmm.
but I just feel like every woman is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation, just in hooking up with guys. Like some guys, like it's really confusing. It's like they think they know what they're doing, and like I
Hmm.
telling my friends like they're obsessed with the clit and they want to stimulate that, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like
Hmm.
maybe some girls like that. So I don't know. I feel like every woman is so different, and what one woman likes, other women don't, and I think guys don't spend enough time like really figuring out the woman they're with, and like just assuming that every girl operates the same. So I don't know. You mentioned the female G spot. Some guys are obsessed with the clit. Some they hyper focus on one thing rather than really thinking of it as a bigger issue or an experience.
Hmm.
Uh, kind of getting towards a functional orgasm rather than, I guess, like I said, the experience.
Hmm. Yeah. I've talked to a couple girls on the show, and they say the one thing that they think that makes a girl come is the touch of the man, just him being on top of her or him having his hands on her and stuff. That's what
Uh-huh.
makes a girl come. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm not really sure. I think definitely the pressure of something rather than I guess clitoral stimulation. That certainly would be I guess more appeasing to me. But I don't know. I guess what it is when you say the touch,
Hmm.
that buildup is probably what makes it easier to get you know to get to climax than
Yeah.
anything else. Like if you really really like build the experience up, like you could blow on me, and I'm probably gonna come. Like, I don't know. I'm exaggerating here, but yeah, like, you know, the the, the experience is so much more than, uh, the special spots and that sort of thing. I don't know. I'm not into that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the female G spot, I guess, what have you heard about that? Because I'm going into this conversation pretty naive.
It's just that, if she's getting stimulated by the G spot, it makes her feel just instantly aroused and pleasureful, and I know that it's real because I know, speaking for myself, that when I finger a girl, I know that I'm touching that G spot and she's getting a reaction from it, because I'm touching something, and I know that it's that little ball, that little fleshy ball that's inside her vagina, and
Mm-hmm.
she's just enjoying every moment of it.
Mm-hmm. So the thought is that if you touch that fleshy ball, then that's going to make her come.
The more you do it, the more you do the come hither motion on it, and the more, you start out doing it slowly, and then you get harder and harder. The more she tells you that she's ready for more. She has
Mm-hmm.
to keep telling you and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for
Mm-hmm.
how you do that. And I'm a guy who I like to use two fingers, and I like to use my free hand to play with her clitoris. Um, then there's some girls who don't want both simultaneously, so I use my free hand to twerk their nipples.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just all sounds like, I don't know, a mechanical disaster for me. Again, when the sex or the sex play is focused on, spots and stuff, rather than, just being in it in the moment. I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Hmm.
The tweaking nipples and flicking clips and G spots, it seems like you're operating a piece of machinery here.
Well, you gotta know how. Yeah, you gotta know the parts of the human body, and in this
Yeah.
case, the female body. I know it sounds like you're operating machinery, but that's pretty much how it is. But the only thing is, you gotta learn about this stuff, whether it's in school or on the streets, because this
Mhm.
machinery does not come with instructions.
Mhm.
You know, it's a funny thing, but
Mhm.
like, I'm a guy who I personally prefer foreplay over actual sex because there's less pressure, and I think I'm the master at finger banging. I really do.
What are we? 12? We're back in high school after that high school conversation. Um, who still uses the word finger banging? I mean, aside from yourself.
I do. Occasionally, I hear people say it on podcasts or on the street. You know,
Got it. Mhm.
yeah. It's subjective. Some people say that. Some people say I don't know. I can't even think of something else they say. So I just say finger banging.
That's funny. I guess I keep it simple. I still use the word fingering or I don't know. I might say diddling, but that's more when referring to like self stimulation.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know, finger banging. That's it's almost derogatory, or it just reminds me of high school.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
When you masturbate, do you do it clitorally mostly?
no, I well, probably say it's mostly not.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, that stimulation of the clitoris that a lot of girls seem to really like. It's never been my thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me of this joke. You know the difference between a G spot and a golf ball. It takes 20 minutes for a man to find a golf ball. You know.
So how much time does it take for a man to find the G spot?
I guess every guy is different. For me, it only takes about maybe 3 seconds.
Mm.
Like I had a girlfriend 10 years ago, and fucking oh my god, she had a fucking huge clit, I'll tell you. But she was a big girl, right? So her fucking G spot was pretty much buried, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to just play with her clit instead of playing with her G spot, and that was quite of a challenge, especially since my hand was super sore after it was done, you know. But so yeah,
Working extra hard to get to her.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, it seems like you're kind of the master at finding that G spot.
yep. I would say that I am, you know, and that's and I'm not being falsely modest when I say that, I mean just like I'm a guy who watched porn from the time I was like 10 years old.
Nice.
So I like learned it pretty on, but I didn't know what the G spot was till I was 15. I learned it from watching this movie called National Lampoon's Joy of Sex, and I actually had the actress who said the word on the show a year ago, and I told her that I learned about the G spot from her, and she did this evil laugh, and she thought that was so cool that I learned it from her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Thinking about, since you were 10 years old, like today we have easy access. I can look up a porno on my phone, while I'm talking on the phone with you.
Yep.
But back then we didn't really have such easy access. How did you access porn when you were at that age?
My mom, she worked for the cable company, and we had what was it? Well, we didn't have it. It was actually on for like a moment until like my mom saw it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm getting rid of this channel." It was the Spice Channel with the porn.
Nice. So you're talking softcore porn.
It was, yeah, it was. I mean, I still got to see stuff happen like finger banging and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, but yeah, that's how I got to see it so early. You know,
Mhm.
and then my dad would rent stuff, and I would see it, but he didn't know it.
So dad was still around at the time.
What was that?
I said dad was still around at the time, so dad helped you get access. I mean, not intentionally, but he
Yeah,
essentially was helping you get access.
yeah, because him and my mom didn't get divorced till I was 14.
Got it. I didn't know that. Learn something new about you every day.
Yeah, my parents divorced when I was 14,
Mhm.
and yeah, so that's how I learned porn. In fact, I'll tell you a really funny story. Just before I moved, I had a friend over. He went to San Mateo High, but I won't say his name on the air. And we watched this girl on girl porn that I have, you know. And
Mhm.
he and I are good enough friends that, we can jack off in front of each other.
Wait, who is this?
I'm not saying it on the air.
Okay. Dang it! I thought I was getting good, juicy stuff.
Actually, I don't think you know him, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
perfect.
But yeah, so we have that kind of relationship where we can jack off in front of each other, and it was the first time that it had ever happened, and probably the last after this. But so so we start watching it, and he asked me if he could take it out, and I said, of course you can, and stuff. And for those of you ladies out there listening, it doesn't take me very long to come. It's very brief. I'm a briefcase. Okay. So
Okay.
okay, so I finished long before he did, and then he took probably another 10 minutes after me. And oh my God, he had this fucking Niagara Falls fucking dick. I'll tell you. I mean, he was shooting loads. This guy. And so I gave him some Kleenex that I had, and I actually cleaned him off, right? And he was like, "Gee, Tommy, I didn't know you cared." That's what he said.
Nice.
That's what he said. And
Somebody's a pretty good friend.
yep, he sure is. And that was that for that. And I'll tell you something. If that moment did anything, it stopped him from fucking messaging me late at night and asking me how comedy is going. I'll tell you, because I got sick of that after a while. His brain is all fucked up from crack that he used to do, and he smokes a lot of weed and shit, and it just like drove me crazy.
Wait, so after the incident, he ended up he stopped calling or texting you late at night?
Yeah, he stopped texting me late at night. Hey, how's comedy going and all this shit, because he would get high and message me, and it got really annoying after a while. And I didn't think it was going to do that, but I'm glad it did.
But I'm confused. Like, why would having an experience like that make him stop? You think he was afraid that it might happen again?
I don't know. I mean, it's just probably just a coincidence, but I'm glad it happened, though. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
You're glad it happened because you wanted him to stop.
Well, no, I mean, it didn't happen because of that. It was just incidental. But then after the fact, I'm glad. Well, at least he's not, messaging me late at night anymore. Hi, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
I mean, he fucking had. I'll tell you, he had a fucking huge cock. I'll tell you.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was fucking huge, and I mean, it put mine to shame.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And so, outside of helping him clean up, did anything else happen with you guys that night?
No, not at all.
Interesting.
It was in the daytime too.
Is it something like in the moment you wanted to happen?
No, not at all. He's very fucking ugly.
Oh, very ugly but huge penis. So no temptation there.
Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah. My whole life has been interesting. I've had moments like that where just interesting things happened, and either they went further or they didn't.
Uh-huh.
The crazy thing. Crazy thing. What color are your toenails painted?
They're not. I have no toenail polish right now.
Me too. Yeah, I don't have any either. It's been quite a few months since I painted them. I painted them back in April when I was gonna go to LA, and then my now ex-friend fucking didn't show up because he'd rather do fucking meth instead. Happened, I told you about that, right?
Yeah, you did. And it seems like there's a lot of people in your life, turning to meth. What do you think's going on there?
I think it's the culture. I think it's the culture. I think fucking I don't I have no idea. I mean, I just I hang out with these guys because I think they're great guys, and then suddenly fucking they're fucking drug addicts or fucking just idiots. And I don't know how that happens. They don't open up to me. This is why all my friends are girls, because the girls don't fucking do that kind of shit to me. They don't lie to me. like that at least, and they don't keep their demons, in the closet like that. You know,
Mhm.
I have no idea what it is. I just think it's the culture, maybe.
Mhm.
But I could,
Yeah. It, it it's a little strange, but also like a little sad.
yeah.
No, if I told you, but my younger brother is kind of into that now, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's fucking crazy. Did I ever tell you about when I tried it?
No, here's a moment to share. You tell me about yours, and I'll tell you about mine.
Okay. When I back in 2012, um, my friend, I won't say her name on the air. A friend of mine from high school who's younger than us. She she asked me if I wanted to go to Santa Cruz with her and this friend of hers that I tried to get with on my birthday that year. To wanted to go to Santa Cruz, and I said sure. So we go to Santa Cruz, and there's no free parking anymore, and so they fucking decide they'd rather go back to their hotel room that they were staying in Santa Clara. They were homeless at the time, and so we go back, and we spent the whole weekend doing that shit, and it was the first time I had ever done it, right? And the
The
last,
whole weekend?
yeah, and it was the last. I'll
So
tell you.
how did you do it? Like, I guess
Smoke it.
you smoked it. All right, go on.
So smoke it, and
So how many times did you smoke this?
I don't know, lots of times. I mean, we were doing it the whole weekend.
Aw.
And I had lots of sex with her friend that weekend too. And our other friend, the one from high school, she watched us and stuff. I mean, it was just fucking crazy. Just the three of us in that hotel room. And I go home on Sunday. I take the train. They took me to the train station because we met up on Friday. And
Huh?
so that Sunday I go to work, and I'm able to work and everything. And then, God, where'd I go? I went somewhere for a couple hours after work that day, and then I went home because I was just fucking exhausted. I didn't sleep the whole weekend, of course, and by the time I got home, it was 9 o'clock at night. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I wake up at 1 p.m. the next day,
Mhm.
and my stomach is fucking killing me because didn't eat or anything and all that shit. That's what the shit will do to you. It won't let you eat, you know.
Huh?
And so I never did that again. I was just like, these stomach pains are not worth that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That shit is pretty bad. Okay. So my story.
Hmm.
Uh, you remember Bogey, right?
Bogey.
My boyfriend at the time, my 25th birthday.
Oh yeah, Ben, right?
No, Bogey.
Bogey. Okay.
No, Ben was my boyfriend after that. But yeah, Ben wasn't a drug user. Bogey was.
Okay.
And I went. We were going to Vegas. We were driving at nighttime for some reason. Like,
Hmm.
it's such a short flight, so cheap. Oh, I remember why. We were driving because we were going to go help his friend move. So he wanted to bring his truck. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
so we, I think both of us were not really on much sleep. So we thought it was a bright idea if we were going to drive in the middle of the night to get some Coke to make sure we stayed up for the drive.
Right.
And I'm not sure if he did this on purpose at this point, or if he sincerely couldn't get Coke. But
Right.
what happened is I showed up to his house. We're getting ready to go, and we're about to get on the road, and he lines it up. And I was like, okay, let's just do a little bit before we hit the road.
Right.
So I think I did notice it looked a little strange, but bad Coke kind of looks a little funky or whatever. So, I had go over, do like a little baby bump line, whatever the heck, very, very miniature line.
Mm-hmm.
It burned right away. Like it was, I was like, what the fuck is that? That's not Coke. Like, just right away I knew.
Right.
And he was like, oh yeah, I couldn't get any, blah, 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 So I got this from my friend Neil, and I was well aware that his friend Neil had a test problem.
Right.
I actually had seen him and Neil doing it together before.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't happy about it, but whatever. I don't know. I just wasn't planning on doing it myself. But I was mad for a second, but then for some reason he convinced me it's no big deal. We're just going to use this for the drive, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up getting on the road and driving, and then, throughout the night, I, did it a few more times, like a few bumps while we were on the road.
Right.
We make it to Las Vegas. I don't touch that shit ever again.
Right.
But that shit fucked me up for the 2 days we were in Vegas. I laid down, closed my eyes, but I'm not sure I ever got any deep sleep for the next 2 days. And then when we finally get back from Vegas,
right,
I still hadn't had any decent sleep. So, we're finally getting back to this house, and I'm unpacking, cleaning myself up, washing my face, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I just look like that. I look horrible, and I don't know if this is a lack of sleep or if I truly looked that bad,
mm-hmm.
but I just felt like something or someone was watching me, and it was like at the side of my peripherals. I saw like this ghostly presence like looking at me. It felt like in the moment I was being haunted or whatever. And then I look over and nothing's there, of course. So it was like maybe a hallucination from lack of sleep. But finally after 2 days at night, I was able to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the most disgusting, scariest feeling of my life after not being able to sleep for almost 2 days. Mm-hmm. I never touched that shit again. I'm mad at myself for doing it in the first place after I realized that wasn't what I expected it to be. But oh my god, it was bad. Oh, and the other thing you talked about not eating. Yeah. I remember we were in Vegas. So we go to some it wasn't super fancy restaurant, but I ordered a steak. And I ordered, whatever, like, a pretty decent meal that looked really appetizing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea that I couldn't eat.
Mm-hmm.
So when the steak came, I remember, cutting a piece, putting it in my mouth, and chewing.
Uh-huh.
And I could not swallow for dear life. No matter how hungry I was, I just couldn't swallow it. So I literally just took the steak out of my mouth and put it back on the plate.
Wow.
I did that with a couple more bites, tried to take smaller bites,
mm-hmm.
just see if I could eat a little bit, and I got almost nothing down.
Oh god, that is just fucking insane. Yeah, that's why you don't touch that shit. Oh my god.
That's exactly why I would never touch it again. I like food too much.
All right. Well, I gotta be doing another interview soon, Anna. But this has been a lot of fun. Let's do another one soon.
Sure.
Awesome.
All right. Well, it was great talking to you, and good luck on your next interview.
Thank you so much. You have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you later, and I'll tell you those names later.
Fine. Okay, I look forward to it.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Well, there you have it. Ana-Marie Urbieta. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Anna. That was a lot of fun. I always love catching up with you and stuff and telling stories and everything. I love you, honey. If you like this video, everybody, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. I think the first audio episode went pretty good. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.